How y'all doing? Good, great. First question?
Where do you see from the Bears offense that creates a challenge for you to defend this week?
Yeah, obviously the offense runs through the quarterback. Good with his feet. He can be through with his arms. He can be with with his legs. Does a good job of looking downfield. And then at the same time, the skill players. So you look at the backs. All right, the back able to get downhill in the running game, and they use them on the perimeter too. And then the skill receivers. Have guys who can get open. Keenan Allen, good veteran player in the league, who still has the ability to create separation too. And then DJ Moore too. He's another a go-to guy. All right, and you put the tight end in there. Where he can beat you in a run game. I will say he's a good combo player. Pass blocking, run blocking, catching down the field, and hard to tackle. So very explosive offense who can, do some damage.
Marcus, so the quarterbacks that we're seeing that keep their head up and keep plays alive, like Caleb, like Drake, Jaden Daniels, is that something that kind of has developed early traits in these guys that you're seeing come up, or is it just something that's a natural thing?
Yeah, I would say the league now has more quarterbacks that can do that. Can use their arm, look down the field, can use their legs to create different plays, unscripted plays, which is good. You can pick up first downs and you're in zone coverage sometimes. Then now it turns into man coverage, which we have to plaster on the receiver. And it really turns into backyard football where they can go and, make plays and create plays, which these guys are, most of these quarterbacks are gunslinging quarterbacks who can do both, run and throw, have the ability to do both. So which makes it hard on defense.
I was curious, so Devon Godchaux's name was floated around a little bit in trade rumors. I know that's more an Elliott Gerard thing, but I'm just curious. Obviously, he wasn't traded, so what's his importance on the defense, especially considering we don't have Christian Barmore right now?
Yeah, as far as the middle of the defense, so our nose tackle or three technique as far as the middle of the defense, making sure to anchor that in for the run game. That's what we look for him to do and push the pocket. That's what he's paid to do. That's what we want him to do. And then just make sure he does a good job of handling our guys up front and just making sure that he's a leader up there too.
Marcus, what's been keeping Sione Takitaki from taking on a bigger role? And could you see his role continue to increase as the season goes along?
Yeah. He just started, practicing a couple weeks ago. So, when you have a player who just got off injury and then you have a player who not really hasn't been with us, in previous years too. So just trying to find his role, what is develop that role, and then be great in that role, and then have the opportunities in practice to do it so he can do it in the game. So that's really the deal. He's doing a good job of learning the playbook, doing a good job of making sure that he puts his best foot forward on special teams and on defense. So we're looking forward to getting him rolling, which, we need him to get rolling.
Marcus, how can you coach, I understand part of this is luck and maybe even play calling, but generating more takeaways, and that's something you're always aiming for. What can you do now moving forward to get more of those?
Yeah, for us, it's really about seeking an opportunity every time we step out on the field. So we look at we call them the ball barriers of the week. So we look at them, who's holding the ball in an incorrect way, who's holding the ball away from their body, or whether it might be the quarterback who has the ball on every single play. If him scrambling in the pocket doesn't have it, close to his chest, has swinging it out, or staring down a receiver, so things like that. So opportunity for us to have vision on the quarterback, break, things that we can do to get a good break when we have vision on the quarterback and that. And then the ball carriers, securing the tackle, next guy going in, punching after the ball. So just seeking those opportunities by the way they hold it, and then knowing the go-to guys who are, call it disrespectful with the ball.
DeMarcus, Keon got off to a big start in terms of sack numbers, and I know sacks aren't all telling.
Yeah.
What's been the difference since those first couple of games in terms of consistent sack pressure and sacks,
right,
without extra rushers coming?
Right. Yeah, I wish he can get a sack every game. That would be great. But for us, yeah, I don't look at it as sacks. I look at it as long as he's affecting the quarterback in some way. And I think if you look at every game, he's back there touching the quarterback. So long as he continue to, be around the quarterback, eventually it'll come. Eventually he'll make a sack, and the ball is coming out quick too. So a lot of these quarterbacks are, even last week when you look at the quarterback, as soon the ball is coming out super fast. So the longer they hold it, the better chance you have at getting at the quarterback and creating a sack. So I think he does a great job, especially in the 4-man rush, winning his one-on-one rushes, which he does a really good job doing that. And then there's team defense also. There's doing his job, whether it's in the pass game or containing the quarterback on a certain call, or doing whatever he's asked to do based off of the team needs. Whether it's a different pressure coming and he needs to collapse the pocket. So that's kind of how I look at it, playing team ball. He's done a good job for us, and I hope you continue to do that for us. I know I don't really look at, sack, because when you chase for the sack, then that's how the quarterback could get out the pocket too. So it's about being disciplined, control, rush with all our guys up front.
You look at the run defense and maybe some of the inconsistency.
Yep.
What do you attribute that to? Just is it focus? Just because it's like a couple plays, or is there more like what the technique? What do you attribute?
So for us, I think when you look at it, the running game, we got to do a good job with our perimeter run force. All right, and then just as cutback players, because around the league, it's not just running the ball down here. A lot of the runs are going out to the numbers. So we got to do a good job of setting the edge of the defense. And when we all say set the edge, we might think about the defensive linemen, the linebackers, but we also talk about safeties and corners, forcing it back to the cutback players too. So we have to do a good job in that. Obviously, continue to be just consistent on that, just like you talked about, just being really consistent on a down-to-down basis in the running game. So that's what we'll continue to preach on that. And we'll look at really each team, their runs and plus the runs that we got hurt on from the previous week.
Marcus, you mentioned that. Do you find teams targeting, some smaller, leaner corners, which doesn't mean they can't make the stop, but John's 5'9", Marcus is 5'8", Marco, I know, was brought in on that crack toss that they had for that 32-yarder in the first drive. Do you find teams attacking you in that way to get to the numbers and block those guys?
I think that's a league deal. I think that's around the league. When you look at every single team, we get up here and talk about West Coast systems. It's outside running game and inside passing. That's what it is. So around the league, there's outside running game, perimeter runs, and then inside passing. So that's around the league. That's every single team is kind of getting some flavor of that. It's an easy way to get the ball out in space to a guy like Swift, who's good with the ball in his hand and can create explosive runs.
When it comes to the pass rush, it seems like you guys have been more effective with your line games. I'm wondering, have you seen it the same way, like growth in that area? And if so, what has led to that growth?
Yeah, I think if you just look at the history of our team, we've been good at that with just, with games, creating those. We have players who can win one-on-ones, but I think that, when you run different, twists or games or something like that, that's something that we've always been good at, in just the history of our defense. That's something that we've been good at.
Last couple of weeks, Kyle Duggar.
Yep.
Seen a little more from Dell.
Yep.
What have you seen from Dell?
He's doing a good job taking advantage of the opportunities that he's getting, and that's what we ask for our guys to be ready. When the numbers call, and this is, really throughout every time he's having to go in a game, whether it's, Marte not being there or his, Pep or to Doug and him being able to step up, whether it's an early down or a third down role. So I'm excited to continue to see his growth, on the field. And again, I think he's learning through experiences and consequences. And, that's the best teacher in life, to experiences and consequences on things. And, but I think he's trying to do a good job of not being a repeat guy and making the same mistakes. I think, Brian does a good job of preparing him every week, making sure he's ready to go. Good.